this can seem like a most daunting challenge, and that is why God chose to speak of mercy through a most humble instrument. At this moment, let us have a few glimpses on the life and the spirituality of Saint Faustina Kowalska.
Saint Faustina, mystic and secretary of the Lord. Throughout her brief life, Jesus appeared and spoke to the saint, who faithfully recorded his words in her diary, entitled Divine Mercy in My Soul. When she left this world, she left this invaluable gift behind for the betterment of mankind, detailing the Lord's gracious gift of mercy to the world. Saint Faustina was born Helena Kowalska, the third of 10 children in the small village of Lodz, Poland. She was able to finish only 3 years of education, and as a teenager worked as a domestic servant for other families. By the age of 18, she was convinced of her calling to serve the Lord, but her parents objected to her entering the religious life. Ever obedient, Helena attempted to forget her calling, but one night, while at a village dance, Helena saw Jesus sad and suffering. The very next day, she packed a small bag and went to the capital city of Warsaw. After being rejected by several religious orders, she was accepted by the congregation of the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy, an order devoted to the care and education of troubled young women. The following year, she received the habit and took the name Sister Maria Faustina of the Most Blessed Sacrament. She served the Lord as a Sister of Mercy for 13 years, during which she served her sisters as cook, gardener, and porter. Beginning in the 1930s, Sister Faustina began receiving from the Lord a message of mercy that she was told to spread throughout the world. She was asked to become the apostle and secretary of God's mercy, a model of how to be merciful to others, and an instrument for re-emphasizing God's plan of mercy for the world. Jesus also asked that a picture be painted of him with the inscription, "Jesus, I trust in you." She commissioned this painting in 1935, showing a red and a white light shining from Christ's Sacred Heart, representing the blood and water that poured from his side. Fulfilling the call of the Lord would not be easy, or without sacrifice and suffering. Her entire life in imitation of Christ was to be a sacrifice, a life lived for others. At the Divine Lord's request, she willingly offered her personal sufferings in union with Him to atone for the sins of others. In her daily life, Sister Faustina was to become a model of mercy, bringing joy and peace to others. She was further called to write about the infinite nature of God's mercy, encouraging others to trust in Him and thus preparing the world for His coming. Sister Faustina wrote and suffered in secret, with only her spiritual director and some of her superiors being aware that something special was taking place in her life. She protracted tuberculosis. Finally, when she gave in to death, even her closest associates were amazed as they began to discover what great sufferings and deep mystical experiences had been given to her. Saint Faustina's special devotion to Mary Immaculate and to the sacraments of the Eucharist and reconciliation had given her the strength to bear her sufferings as an offering to God. Her suffering was to achieve what Jesus had promised when He told her, "I do not want to punish mankind, but I desire to heal it, pressing it to my merciful heart." Saint Faustina died peacefully, the name of Jesus on her lips. By the life of Saint Faustina, let us all be inspired to take refuge in our God's infinite mercy and love.